When did you discover that green was your color?
It was like 5 years ago at church. I went in the lobby. I was wearing a green shirt, and this old lady who always like comes up to me and hugs me and grabs me. She
First of all,
Hold on a second.
stop doing this to so casual.
No, anyway, she was like, "Oh, your eyes are popping right now." And then I tried it again a few weeks later with a different green shirt. Kept going. I was like, "All right, the grandmas like it, so I keep wearing green."
Hello, everybody. We're here. New episode of the pod with our young adult interns. Emerald.
Hello.
Honestly, what's your last name? Herman.
Yep.
Crushed it.
Crushed.
We've been working together for so long. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
And Joshua.
Hello.
I know your last name. Just pause. Larson.
Got it.
Gosh, I'm good.
Very good.
This makes me look bad. But Joshua just joined the YA team, okay?
Yeah, like a week and a half ago.
A week and a half ago.
He's thriving.
He's thriving. He's in his green shirt. He's ready to go. Okay, guys, we are going to talk all about the internship, what you've loved, what you've hated, what you don't like about Sam and Emma. No, I'm just kidding. They're the best. What you don't like about each other. No, it's going to all be really positive and wonderful. How are you feeling that I did not prepare you at all?
Ask
Trusting.
me later.
Oh, no, I feel fine. Well, the Lord will guide our words.
He will.
It's gonna be fine.
Okay, Joshua.
Let's go.
Joshua just did his strength finders and responsibility is number 1. And so I feel like maybe the fact that I didn't prepare
I won't
you.
say anything.
All right. Here are a few questions that everyone is dying to know.
Right.
What is something that people do not know about you? Generally. You can go deep or you can go like light.
I learned Spanish before I learned English when I was little, but now I can't speak any of it. Well, I could like if I was in a dire situation, probably.
Can you give us like a little Spanish right now?
No, I don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah. I just don't do it enough to feel comfortable doing it. But I did learn it before English.
Can you like hear it?
Yeah, I can understand it,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't speak it.
Okay. That's nice. Do you have any relatives that speak only Spanish?
My grandma does, yeah.
Is it hard to not get to communicate with her that much?
She talks to me in Spanish, but I reply in English.
And she can understand both.
Uh-huh.
Oh, great. I did
She can
make
understand.
an assumption that she didn't speak English.
She doesn't speak it well.
I was like, how does she talk to you? English.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, okay, yeah.
Like broken English, like Spanglish.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
What's your grandma's name?
Sylvia.
Nice, Sylvia.
Yep.
Grandma Sylvie.
Well, her middle name's Sylvia. First name's Marta, but she goes by whatever. Both.
Shout out. Is she gonna listen to this?
No.
Okay. All right, Joshua, what about you? What about you?
People do not know that I have had some surgeries on my head and on my jaw, and combined, the cost of it. Well, I didn't pay this, but like the total cost was over $1 million. So,
Shut your mouth.
yeah, that's how much my head is worth.
Oh. Wait, yes, you recently showed us a picture of your scar on the back of your head.
Yeah.
How long is this scar? How many stitches? What are we talking?
Oh, it was staples.
Oh.
Yeah,
My gosh.
there were a lot. One of them's like 4 inches long. The other one's like 2 inches down the back. Yeah.
And you had brain surgery?
I did. Yeah. And double jaw surgery. Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know this. Did something happen to you or that had to happen? Or was it sort of like, a discovery? thing?
Bad genetics.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, my brain was too big, and then they had to cut it.
You're so smart.
And then, yeah,
Is that what they told you?
that's what they said.
Nice.
Either that or my skull was too small. But yeah.
Dang, okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel fully recovered from that? Or do you feel still...
I'll have, from both surgeries, I'll have things the rest of my life that
I'm
are not normal.
sorry.
Like, I have flashing in my eyes all the time, ringing in my ears, and then with the jaw, I like can't feel my lower lip really. So I'll have like a piece of rice get stuck on there, and then like don't even know it's there. Yeah,
If you
or like
ever
just
see
start
food.
drooling. Yeah,
That's so sad.
He needs to wear a bib at all times.
yeah.
actually.
Honestly,
If you ever see food on Joshua's lower lip,
please tell me.
please, God.
I'll
Tell
just
him.
laugh.
Not the drool.
Yeah.
That happens to me and I don't even have a lower lip thing. I know. Is that bad? I don't know.
Maybe a little problematic, but no.
I have like an overactive salivary gland.
Oh.
My orthodontist told me. So
What?
anyway.
Oh,
Yeah, they had to use, I said this in the last episode, 2 of the suction things. when I would get my braces tightened.
It's just
You-
constantly
I
going.
don't know.
You were their worst nightmare, probably.
I know you worked in dental.
I did.
Okay, guys, you did the internship. You signed up for it.
Mhm.
There's probably people out there. First of all, yes, we're plugging the internship. Maybe somebody listening is like, I listen to the Young Adult podcast. I have my job. I'm not even thinking about that. But maybe God has put it on your heart already, or maybe by the end of this internship or at the end of this podcast, you're like, man, I feel like that's something I want to look into or think through. And maybe it's not even the Red Rocks internship, but maybe it's just ministry in general. So I wanted to have you guys on just to talk a little bit about that, because I could talk all day about it, but I interned like 5 years ago. And I think you guys are like right in the midst of it. And so both of you, before doing this internship, were not working in a ministry context. Maybe you hadn't thought about it before. Maybe you had. What was the moment like where you really knew that this was something that God was calling you to do? Or maybe there's like a moment where you're like, oh, that could be. And then there's like a step 2 where you're like, oh, if I don't do this, I feel like I'm going to be disobedient into what God's calling me to do.
Mm-hmm.
I can go.
Okay.
Mine is kind of a crazy story. I was working at a preschool, awaiting news back to get into the Coast Guard. And because of those surgeries that I just talked about, wasn't able to. So I got disqualified, and then was at a spot where like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know what's next. I just started going to Red Rocks a few months earlier. Had never thought about ministry, did not want to work at a church. And I, in the span of a few weeks, had several people like bring up, have you ever thought about working at a church? And I didn't like that. I didn't like thinking about it, but I couldn't get it out of my head. And so I talked to a few people at Red Rocks on staff, had some meetings, and then, from there, I just could not stop thinking about it. I spent most of my life following high school, the 6 years after high school. So I was 24 at the time. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I spent all that time trying to pick the perfect career based on my desires, based on what I thought would be fun, based on what I thought I'd be good at. And I kept missing. I kept doing things that were absolutely not me, not where God has called me, not how he's wired me. Yeah. And I both wanted to find out if working in a church was actually something that would be for me. And also I wanted to really like lay my life on the altar, and my preferences and my desires in terms of, I've been selfishly like trying to find something that's the most fun, that pays the most, whatever it may be. And the internship was like the perfect opportunity for both of those things. Yeah. Both to find out if ministry was for me, and also to really give up control, which is something that's hard for me. Yeah.
Way to do it. Honestly, I feel like there's like one thing to think about doing something like that, but then to actually step into that. Because I think there's that first moment and decision of like, no, these are two things I want to grow in or discover. And then my guess is you've probably had a few moments within the internship where you've actually had to be like, ooh, there's like kind of a cost to this choice. Yeah. Have you experienced that at all? And how has that been?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, there's a cost financially. Don't get paid. Yeah. But for me, I think the cost is really in the growth. Like, there has been so much growth that I've experienced, but it's because I've been pushed and stretched in so many ways. And I was working at a preschool during college and after college, and it's a pretty narrow spectrum of things that you're doing, and I wasn't able to really like discover both what I was really good at and what I was really bad at. And the internship has helped flesh out like where God has gifted me with things, but also things that maybe I'm not good at or have not trained up enough. And that exposure has been hard, but also really, really good.
Yeah, I know. Everyone wants to grow, but then it's like, do I though? Because in order to grow, you have to have a baseline. of where am I actually at right now,
Yeah.
like for my weaknesses, for my strengths,
Mm.
so that it's like, okay, this is what, like, I've seen myself. And I think the part of growth where you kind of have to see yourself for all of it can be some of the more painful parts of growing. Or, okay, here we are. Oh, that exposed this. God wants to grow that. God wants to change this mindset. And so I always have such a high respect for interns because it does feel kind of like you're on this like operating table and you're just like, all right, I'm at the mercy of this thing that I decided. So, okay, what about you, Emerald?
The internship, well, the idea of the internship was kind of a slower burn for me.
Yeah.
I'd watched people go through it and come out of it, and I didn't think I would ever be in a church, period, like
Yeah.
really. So I was newer in my faith, and I just started to serve in YA about 6 months after I started going to YA.
Yeah.
And then I started to serve in youth, and it like became the only thing that was like fulfilling for me. I was at the
Yeah.
same job for 5 years prior,
Yeah.
and I loved that job. And then all of a sudden it like was a switch, and I didn't really like that job anymore, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to be there. And so the more I was like stepping into serving and like actually putting others before myself and his kingdom before anything else, I just felt so much more like free in that. And I felt like, oh, I can like bring different things that I've learned at this job into serving and into that.
Yeah.
And so then the internship is an opportunity to obviously serve fully and like give yourself fully to serving his church
Yeah.
for 9 months. And so it
Mm.
just became like the perfect thing that I wanted to try out. And it was the only thing that was like satisfying to me.
Yeah.
So
So you kind of followed. Yeah, I think too, like God can change your heart in some
Mhm.
ways too, where you're like, I loved this job. There was
Mhm.
nothing about it that changed. And I've been serving and I've loved that. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I need to do this.
yeah.
And sometimes I think sometimes I'll hear people be in like a job for like 6 months and they're like, it's hard. You know, like I don't feel like doing this because it's hard. And it's like, no, you didn't look at this and say this wouldn't be as hard.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing now is probably harder in some ways.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool that God can also do that, like change kind of our taste for things, or at least we taste something else and we're like, oh, that's a better fit for how God made me or how he wired me. And that
Yeah.
should be your 20s. I think it should be trial and error. I think crossing things off the list is just as important as like, oh, the check mark, the check box as well. Okay, what's been the most challenging? Like, is there like a moment or a story where you're like, oh, this was my breaking point, or this like really, really stretched me during the program so far? It can be general, or it can be like I was taking out the trash and it bottomed out, and then someone
Oh
needed to
my
talk.
gosh.
I don't know.
I mean, honestly, moments like that happen all the time where I'm like, okay, if one more thing happens, I might lose it today. But
Emerald did yell at me yesterday. No, I'm kidding. I just wanted to
I was like,
gaslight
did
you.
I? Like, I don't think I
I wanted to
did.
gaslight you. Sorry.
I
I don't think I did.
I don't think so, but maybe.
Maybe.
But I think the most challenging thing, I think I've just had to like sacrifice more than I thought I would have to.
Yeah.
Like, I think when I said yes to the internship, I was like, okay, God, here's my yes for the year. Don't
Yeah.
ask for anything else. Like, I gave you everything.
Yeah.
And then bigger things came up that I like then had to lay back down at his feet that I wasn't expecting to.
Yes.
And so then there was just like transition with that kind of shocked me.
yeah.
but I mean, I know that there's gonna be good that comes from it, obviously, in being obedient, but that was challenging. That was shocking.
I think
to
it's
me.
interesting you touch on like you gave God this very big yes. You're like, God, like a year unpaid, like everything pivot. And then you have this thought in the midst of it of like, how could you ask for more?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I gave you this.
Yeah.
Like, and I even, like, as you said that, I felt the Holy Spirit on my heart of like, God, I've given you this, I've done this. Like, still, you need more. Like, you want more from me. You want more obedience. You want more sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And it is funny because Jesus's promise is that is the way of the cross. Like, he talks about following him as a way and a path.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's funny, you like say yes to a path, and then it's like, oh, I didn't think the path would look like this.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you think about who Jesus is and what he's called his disciples to, and you're in your word, you're like, oh, this is exactly the landscape of this path.
Yeah.
But I even resonate with you. Like, I think we're good
Mm-hmm.
though, but all the illustrations biblically of people following Jesus is like a full life laid down.
Mm-hmm.
And then he uses the word like daily as well to reference like, I am your daily bread. I am your living water. And it's like, but like, what if you gave me a water bottle and then I'll talk to you in like a week when it runs out? So that's such an interesting, I love that. I love that you were like, man, I thought that there was going to be like an exchange and maybe it was going to be smoother.
Mm-hmm.
And you've learned maybe that that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
Has learning that made you like love God more, or do you feel, how has that made you feel towards God and like his character in your life?
Yeah, I think now I think I feel closer to him for sure. And I think I've seen like some of the fruit of it.
Yeah.
I think honestly what it does is it just like leaves me more expectant for like, okay, I actually gave you everything. So now I'm just like here waiting, like hands open.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm just like in a posture of like just being like really slow and trying to wait for him.
Yeah.
But it's definitely grown my faith with him for sure.
Yeah.
And my relationship with him. So.
I love that though. Like you're yoked to him. He's the leader.
Yeah.
So there's like some, like a relinquishing of control that is more a part of your posture than like a choice now. You're like, this is how I posture myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is maturity,
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely, there were parts where I was also angry.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if nobody go through my journal because that is like not good. But
Emerald's laments.
no, it was bad. But I think there was both. I think it challenged me
Yeah.
in my relationship with him too.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of like, why? Like, why do I have to do this? Why is this? But it also grew so much.
And
So.
anger, I mean, you have a real relationship with God
Mm-hmm.
with like all of your emotion. I think that's healthy.
Yeah.
And I do think that is hard to learn and even remember. Like
Mhm.
sometimes I have moments where I'm like, I feel like God's like, what do you actually think? What do you really feel?
Mhm.
I'm like, oh yeah, I can tell you.
Yeah.
And also, you know.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mhm.
Okay, Joshua, what about you?
Well, I thought of one specific example just as like this happens probably weekly in different areas, like little things that might frustrate you, but like on the young adult retreat, I was setting up like the s'more station. I was out there in the cold for a while, like tending the fire, and then like people come out, there's a trash can like right next to the table, and then everyone's like grabbing their s'mores, and like all the trash is just everywhere except for in the trash can, and I'm just watching this happen after I like set this up, and like no one's picking it up, and like, okay, like I'm gonna be the one to go pick up each piece of trash. And I think that is like a bigger example of even before the internship, but especially during, how God has been working in my own heart.
Yeah.
Almost like I don't know how to word it, but like a theology of work, like what is work, and like really like there's no work that should be beneath me.
Mhm.
And like
Yeah.
whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. And that's like, I've been holding on to that for this whole, or last year, 2025. And God has really been like shaping and forming like that work is good. Even if it's hard, even if it's frustrating, it's still good. And like we can still honor and glorify God in that. So yeah.
How is it? And I'm sure too, going from serving kids,
Yeah.
we're like, okay, there's going to be some sacrifices. It's a kid, you know, or you can kind of discipline a child, but like, how has it been then to serve your peers in those ways? Has that been harder? Has it made it, I don't know, has it like brought up some pride in your heart or some like, you're an adult, throw it
Uh-oh.
away. Like I would be like, you're an adult, you know, but then you're like, well, I'm serving you. How has that shift been?
Well, pride would be the word.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was like,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in you. I'm just me.
No, yeah, you
So
know I'm
that's why-
prideful. Yeah.
No. No.
Truly though, that's one of the biggest things that has come up, because when it's a 3-year-old, you expect them to do
Yes.
those things. And part of it is, yes, like people are adults and like should throw away their trash or, you know, take care of themselves.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, like I think it's exposed that maybe I think I deserve some special treatment, or just because I am more organized or like super clean and tidy person, that should be what everyone else subscribes to.
Yeah.
And also like, I mean, that goes into faith stuff as well. Like people have different convictions. People are different spots in their faith. Like I've been a follower of Jesus since I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are, fresh into their faith.
Yeah.
And for me, one of the things that's been convicting, it's hard for me to see where I was
Yes.
5 years ago.
Totally.
When I was making some really ungodly decisions in the past, in college or whatever, and seeing other people maybe make those decisions, or it doesn't even have to be sin necessarily, or something that I think is wrong, but just a spot in faith. And it's been really hard because I like to say I'm a person who's like empathetic, but then at the same time, it gets exposed a lot of like, I can't remember what it's like. And then I look at someone like, oh, how are you doing that? And then I think back and, oh, wait, they're younger than I was when I was actually doing all these things.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them like less than and judging them. So,
Yeah.
God's been working a lot in that area.
Yeah. And there's not that same validation too, because I used to work with young people too, or like, teacher, like, I love you, you're great, you're this. And then sometimes with your peers, it's just like, okay, you don't get that same external validation. Also, you probably don't have no one's kicking you and like screaming.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's really cool. And to allow allow God, because you could do this internship and not allow God to convict you in those ways. But I think it's cool that you guys are attuned to him in your daily work. You're not just looking at like the list that needs to get done, but you're also asking God, like within the list and within the day, how are you growing me and sanctifying me and changing me? And so that's really cool. Yep. Shout out to our interns. They're the best. Why interns? Okay. Jada wrote this question, which is kind of cruel, and I'm really sorry.
I'm scared.
No, it's not mean, but it's just like,
she can't even be here to ask us herself.
what is your least favorite thing about? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Like, about Jada. No, no, she says this. What does it mean to finish strong with no finish line, like in sight?
Ooh.
Or the internship ends in May. How do you like stay present? And I think this speaks to a lot of young adults where they're in transient seasons of like, oh, my lease is ending, college is ending. Being in your 20s is all about beginnings and endings. And for me at least, I felt like it was like, can I just like settle in for a second? What is it? How do you remain present? Because there's still a lot of time left. Keeping your hands at what God wants you to have your hands on and all the ways he wants to continue to grow you, and also still know that like, okay, God, what's next? How do you balance those two? And I know you're probably in the midst of processing that, but I actually think it's so fun when people are in the midst of something to talk about it, because it's so much easier to speak on things comfortably with hindsight.
Yeah.
So how is that going right now? I'm so sorry. Jada, it's Jada's fault.
Yeah, it's all her fault. I think there's a couple things. I think to stay present in the work that we're doing, my mindset is just like, just do what like I'm called to do, and like the rest will follow.
Yeah.
So as long as I'm putting my like best foot forward and also like abiding in him while I do it, everything else in the future and whatever's ending or starting, whatever, like that'll all come with it. And so it's been challenging for me because I'm a very like control person. I'm like, I want to know the plan. I want to know everything.
Yeah.
So to not like really see what's on the other side of the finish line, I think, is a challenge, but it is something that like the Lord's growing me in, is like, just do what I'm telling you to do right now. And like, you don't have to worry about anything else. You're not going to know how or why or whatever.
Yeah.
That comes with the future. You just have to do like what you're called to do right now.
Yeah.
So that's been centering for me.
Is there anything practical that helps you remain faithful with that mindset? Or do you feel like it's like daily just walking with God?
Yeah, I mean, I have to spend, like, if I don't journal and pray in the morning or really at night, I pray all the time. I drive in silence so I can pray. Like, that's what I do.
Yeah.
But if I'm not spending time with him every day, and on the days that I haven't, I feel drained. Like, I feel like I'm like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I think like the constant every day, like really getting in his presence is what fuels it.
Yeah.
And I think without it, I don't know what I'd be doing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I'd have to do
No, that's so
to
good.
sustain that. But
Yeah. Did you always have those practices, or do you feel like doing this uncertain thing has made you more like desperate
Oh, for sure.
for God's presence?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because everything's in his, like, truly it's in his hands. I have no control over anything that happens in this season.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the way that I show up is one thing, but like, I gave him everything. So I'm like, I know that he's going to do what he's going to do.
So you're in this like surrendered posture.
Mm-hmm.
And now I want you to like think back to your life a year ago where you were more in control.
Mm-hmm.
You had your study and, you know, all the things.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say you were happier then?
I don't think I would consider it happy. I would say I was more maybe like sound in my brain. Like, my brain wasn't as scrambled, but I think I'm happiest knowing that I'm obedient. I think if I wasn't being obedient, I wouldn't be happy. And I think that's why I wasn't happy at that job for a while, because I tried to push it off.
Yeah.
For like 6 months before even applying, I tried to ignore what he was calling me to do.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I bring up happiness because I think sometimes we forget like the radical, like what you're in is pretty radical, like the choice you made, like comparatively. Like, I think within Christianity, it doesn't feel that way. But if you like really zoom out, it is. And you're in this like surrendered posture. And I do think it's the sweet spot, like what you're talking about. And not necessarily the internship, but like, I need God every day. Like, I really need him. And I feel it when I don't. And obviously he's always there, but like a choice to lean on him and a choice to abide in him. And to make choices where you're positioned to need him every day, I think most people either avoid or dread, or in hindsight, you're like, I was so surrendered in that season, you know, and you're like, that was awesome. But like, really what I want is control and comfort and all these things. And even for me lately, I've been like, oh God, I think the sweet spot is for like in between, like when I've decided to like jump off the cliff and land in the water is like when I'm in the air. That's like when is my surrendered sweet spot. And so I think it's important to like think through, I don't know, even just to look of like, yeah, you seem like really grounded in your faith from my perspective. But like, do you think you could have, or do you think a year ago, I don't know, you would have felt this way, needing God in the ways that you do? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how do I put this? When you were in your office and you were kind of more comfortable and not going through the motions, you were being faithful. And then you were obedient, and now you're in this. Did you think that like being as out of control and destabilized would feel worse than it does? I guess that's what I'm trying to.
Yeah, for sure. I think anytime you don't have control over something and you don't know, you are kind of in this limbo where you're like, you feel kind of uneasy all the time, and like there's just no answer really. So when I did have control, of course, I think I felt more like stable. But I expected this season to feel more like chaotic, which it does obviously at sometimes, but I think it's very clear that the work that we're doing is for, like, it's for him, obviously. Everything's for him, so there is like a stability in that sense.
That's cool. I like that. No, I literally have no answer. I just think it's like, it's an interesting, I don't know, because even for myself, like when I compare myself in the internship to now, I have moments where I'm like, oh, I need to get back. I need to make decisions or live in such a way where I get back to the desperation. And I think when I was in the internship, or even in some earlier pockets of my 20s, I'm like, oh God, you cannot pay me to go back there. But also I was close to him in a way that wasn't like, I guess I could go be desperate for God this morning, where it was like, no. I woke up and it was like, there's no other option.
Yeah.
My thoughts are going to get some swirly. I'm going to start doubting this, that, the other. It was like, there was no other options. Like when Peter gets out of the water to walk on it, I have to keep my eyes on Jesus or I'm really going to sink.
Yeah.
And so even as I'm 32 and processing, like, how do I remain desperate for Jesus? Maybe when I do feel more physically grounded and stable. And so I'm just more interested in like you guys in the midst of that. And it's interesting to play around with like, how do you kind of keep that posture of desperation when things do change? So just having my own, working through some of my own things. But thanks for sharing. What about you? What about you, Joshua?
Yeah, I'm definitely in the thick of all that right now.
Yeah.
And I've never really, I don't know the exact quote. I've never really liked it, but it fits this like situation. I think it is pray like everything depends on God and work like it all depends on you. And I've never been able to balance those because you're praying and you're relying on God and you're desperate for Him to speak into your situation, to speak into your life, to guide you. But if you don't take any steps in the direction you think He's guiding you, then you're just gonna stay in the same spot and be stagnant.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out, am I called to ministry within a local church? Am I called to ministry within a different area?
Yeah.
Obviously, any job can be ministry, and that's one thing I've been wrestling through. Where do I live? After I move out of my host family, don't want to go back to my parents, but like, what does that look like?
Yeah.
And in the past, I think I have prayed and been like, God, guide me, lead me, like, where do I go? And then not actually taking the steps that it requires to flesh that out.
Yeah.
Of maybe that's a phone call with someone. Maybe that's a conversation about what I'm wrestling with.
Yeah.
Maybe that's, reaching out to people at work and see if they have connections in different areas, or asking people what they think I'm good at.
Yeah.
And it all are things that I would not in my comfort zone do.
Yeah.
Because in my comfort zone, I would just come do the work that I have to do and then try and not think about planning for the future. But I do think there is wisdom in both like running to Jesus and asking Him to lead and guide the situation, but also how can I be a good steward of my life in trying to take steps to where I think He's leading me.
I love that. I like that picture of obedience. Like, what's your next like little baby step?
Yeah.
Because there's so many stories in Scripture. Yes, Jesus meets people and will heal them, like the side of the road. But in most of the stories, someone is crying out for Him, or in Zacchaeus, he like climbs the tree and like, and Jesus, and then he speaks to him. And with Peter, he like has to he asks to walk on the water actually, and then he's invited. It's always this like back and forth between the person and Jesus. And I think it also speaks to Jesus wanting real relationship, not just people He can puppeteer. Or people that like, He's like, I made you and I love you. And it's like, good, I'll see you in heaven. We're never going to talk again, and Jesus died for real relationship. And I do think that involves participation, which is, I think, what you're speaking to. And I do think it should feel like attention of like, okay, I'm going to take a baby step. God, is there anything I don't see? Like, is there a door I'm missing? All right, you're not cruel. So like, you wouldn't be like, aha, the fourth door that I was hiding and you got it wrong. That's not God's character. But I do like that you kind of laid out that tension, because I do think young adults need to know its attention point of like, okay, keeping like, God, you get to speak on this first, and I'm going to keep making little baby steps and having those calls and those meetings. And I really love that. And I think that's going to be helpful for people. Especially, I think all people in all ages in their 20s, because it's like it's like a playground. You're like, where am I? How did I get over here? I'm on the monkey bars, but like, is this going to help for the slide? And should I go on the slide? And yeah, so it's much more dynamic and less black and white than I think people, you're like freshman adult is like your 20s. So it's like, what are we all doing? What are we all doing here? And everyone's so different too, you know? That's cool. Well, thanks for sharing, guys. I know it's vulnerable and I didn't prepare you. So I love you so much. Emerald, did you get a new tattoo? Have you always had that?
No, I've always had that.
Gosh, I forgot your last name and the tattoo. I really care about you.
Yeah.
Sorry. You wear a lot of sweatshirts.
I do.
Okay. All right. I have a couple more questions. What's it like spending time with the other interns? What are they like? And then who's like your favorite and why? And we'll give them a cute shout out. Not your favorite. Maybe who's someone, actually I like this. Who's someone that's really different than you, that maybe in the beginning you were like, oh gosh, like we are not going to get along, but that like has grown you and like changed you and shown you Jesus in a way you didn't expect. That's the question. That's the one.
That is a good question.
Because I remember when I interned, I was like, we're all going to be the same. And then I got there and I was like, oh gosh, this is going to be half the hard part is like serving with people that are so different than me. And so that's my question. And you can say their name and then they can listen to this and cry or something.
Oh, I don't think, okay.
Or be like deeply offended. Be like, oh, I thought I was Emerald's best friend at the beginning.
No. Well, hanging out with the interns is fun. We're all so different. Like, I think a couple of us are more like, we have similar tendencies and stuff.
Yeah.
And like the ways that we think. But it's chaos at all times with this intern class, which is so fun. Like, there's never a time where we're just like, womp, like not doing anything.
Yeah. There's 13 of you?
10.
10. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a smaller crew, which is fun for us, I think. But let's see, who's different than me? I have 2. Can I say 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
And say like you like in the beginning your first like impression without insulting them.
Okay.
And then like how they've changed you, shown you Jesus.
Okay. Jenny's 1 and she's our recover intern.
Yeah.
And I never really talked to Jenny a whole lot. Like I had come in passing with her and stuff, but I think she is very bold in her faith.
Yeah.
And she's very what is the word that I have? I don't know what other word I could use, but bold. Like she just like is not afraid of anything.
Yeah.
And like to share anything with anybody, she's very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I think that's shown me just like her heart posture even more towards Jesus and her relationship with Jesus, but also how intentional she is with other people.
Yeah.
And she's kind of been like grounding for me. Like
Really?
she's just like
How
always
so?
one to check in, and she's always one to go to war and pray with you and send you verses and like do all these things. So that was pleasantly like surprising.
Yeah.
To get to know Jenny. And then David was also, I knew David, but he's just so like, woohoo, like just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But in the
He's
best
a
way
wild man.
possible.
Yeah.
But he serves his little heart out. Like I've never met anybody that serves the way that David serves.
Yeah.
And that is like so inspiring to me.
How have they both like rubbed off on you?
I think they like re-energize me. Like I think it's like, oh, I want to serve the way that David serves. And I want to be like, I want to like lay my life down the way that David lays his life down. And I want to be bold like Jenny. So I think I'm like trying to adapt their like tendencies.
Yeah.
The way that they do things. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's been awesome.
What about you?
Yeah, hanging out with the interns, I didn't know what to expect coming in because I was on the older end of the spectrum. And I've always been like kind of the grandpa of like even people my age of.
Do people call you old soul?
Yeah.
It's like code for little weirdo. Have you seen memes like that?
Well, maybe not little
I'm just
weirdo,
kidding.
but
You're not.
yeah,
You seem like you play some crossword or Sudoku for sure with some glasses.
No.
Okay, keep going.
No.
Sorry.
Just offended.
I'm sorry.
So our first intern like dinner, we were all together. It was so awkward, and I was like, "Who are these people? I don't know how we're gonna get along." And we have spent way more time than I expected, like hanging out outside of
Really?
the many hours that we're here at the church doing things together.
Yeah.
And we just have fun together. There's obviously been like tension points and hard moments, but I feel like through all that, we've been able to stay united under like we're all going through the same thing. And we're all giving this season to the Lord and expecting him to speak into it.
Yeah.
And he has, and it's been fun to share that with all the other interns. And of course, the guy who, and I'm remembering the intern dinner at Sam and Emma's house.
This is like visceral for you. You're
Oh,
like,
gosh.
You're back there.
Apollo.
You guys are very different. Yes.
Yeah, because I've never had TikTok in my life, and he is TikTok famous. And when I found that out, and he was kind of talking about it that night, I was like, oh, who is this guy? Like, I am not gonna get along with him at all. Like, we have nothing to connect over.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's become like one of my closest friends.
Wow.
And we could not be more opposite.
Yeah.
I think he has helped me in so many ways because I can both be too hard on myself and on other people and like take myself too seriously. And he has so much joy in life and just like loves people really well. Is like a connector. And yeah, that's something that he's helped me grow in. And yeah, we're at different spots in our like life journey. We've had different stories. But it's been like beautiful just like getting to have him speak to me. And then I also like spoken into his life, which has been really cool.
Yeah. And I think it's important to bring this up too, not just for people who want to intern, but people who are deciding if they want to invest in the house of God in a way that is maybe more risky, because God is not going to call you. There's no church that is uniform in personality, in story, in even faith maturity. We all should be different because it's called the family of God for a reason, the house of God. And I think people don't always anticipate the differences being good. I think we always anticipate differences being liabilities. At least I do. I'm like, oh gosh, like you can tell right in a moment that intern dinner, you're like, no.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Or like, how did they interview both of us and think we both were a fit for, like, we are this different. I remember feeling that way. And then it obviously sucks to say that out loud because it's like, ooh, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be judgmental. We're just always trying to mitigate discomfort and conflict, and we're always, it's like, okay, well, I don't know if we'll get along, so maybe I'll. And I think it's cool how Jesus, if his whole goal is to sanctify us and make us look more like him, you really have to use iron sharpening iron. Like there has to be things hitting against each other. They need to be different. They need to, like, in order for sharpening to happen. And so I think it's cool that that's also part of how God works in his community. And it's fun in the internship because I do think it's this like vacuum of it, of like intensity. It's like, oh, it's not like we're in a small group once a week. It's not like, which God does that in church and he does that in small group. And that is Jesus's plan, is that you look around and you're like, wow, only God could have grown me by using this person who I thought he never could have used, or redeemed this part of my story because this person's vulnerable and that's hard for me. And I think that's like a really beautiful thing. But in the internship, it's like, ooh, you're together like 60 hours a week. Yeah. And so I think that's such a beautiful part of it. And I always love hearing people's perspectives. Okay, my last question, and then we'll close it on up. What is something about God's character? And you could pick like Jesus, Holy Spirit. You could pick that like you've fallen more in love with or gotten more acquainted with over the course of this internship. And you could talk about a story in scripture. You can, I don't know, the person of Jesus. Is there anything where you're like, man, I knew that about God, but like now I feel like I really know or have experienced or tasted and seen or.
I mean, I'm sure there's so much.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think I have like never found more peace within him, but also I guess I've like learned how to be more in tune with like hearing the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And I think there's been multiple points where I'm like, okay, like, are you going to speak? Like, what's happening? And it's just like sweet whispers.
Yeah.
Which you have to be silent to hear. Like, you have to separate everything in your brain to hear that and kind of be in alignment with it. So that's been really sweet to see, is just like being able to like hear his little whispers a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's just like so much. I don't know. I can't pick like one.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I don't know.
That he's always speaking.
Yeah. Yeah. In like crazy ways too. I've like encountered him in ways that I never have before during this internship. And it's like, even when he's silent, like you will hit a point where he will just like speak something so clearly to you.
Yeah.
So that's been really cool.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
God wants to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I have two.
Okay.
The first one I thought of might not be like what you think I'd answer this question, but his holiness. Like one thing God has been like working so much on me is like every area of my life that is not surrendered to him. And this season, and not in a legalistic, like I need to do all this to make God like me or to follow all his rules, but truly out of like a love for him, he's been exposing so many areas in my own heart that aren't surrendered to him. And within that though, like that holiness is not a condemning or like shaming kind of holiness, which leads into my second thing, which is honestly the biggest thing over this last year that I felt like I've seen in God's character, and that's that he sees me.
Yeah.
He sees every like emotion, every struggle that I have. And we know that to be true. And like, I've known it, sure, in my head, but I've really felt that. And I mean, even like last night as I was driving to urgent care after getting rear-ended, I mean, it's like the worst possible time. You know, I haven't been making money for 6 months and I'm dwindling my savings, and now I have to get a new car. But I felt on that drive, like, and I have felt throughout the whole internship that like God sees me.
Wow.
And like, not only he sees me and he loves me. He sees his son. He sees someone who, like, I've never felt like before and up until honestly the internship, like God's like proud of me.
Wow.
Of like what you're doing matters, and like what you're doing is a good thing. And like he sees the sacrifice, he sees, you know, the risk that I took to do this. He sees the sacrifice throughout, and he knows that I'm worried about the future, but he sees that, and he like holds me in that, and
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry about your car. It's like horrible. No, thanks for your vulnerability, you guys. Not just on this, but like I think in deciding to do the internship and work hard every day and finish strong and push through like obstacles and things that are unideal. It's a real honor to like get to walk even for you for like a week. But I see you, even the past week, like learning a little bit of your story with your surgeries and then this car thing, and you're like, I'm still coming in. And Emerald, like the beginning of this internship was not an ideal like beginning with a lot of different things. And you guys are both very resilient. And it's really an honor to work alongside, because it really does like bolster my faith, and it keeps me going because, this is like a team sport. And it's some days you're like, I don't want to do the thing or show up to the thing. And it's like, why I work with people that decide to.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to.
Yeah.
So it's been really fun. We still have a lot more time together. I feel like I'm like, as we go on, like the graduation song. But
can I add one thing?
Yeah, you can.
Like for someone who might be thinking about the internship, I compare it to like honestly what it means to be a Christian. It's not just, oh, I accept Jesus into my heart. Like the call of a Christian is hard, but that doesn't mean it's worse or it's less enjoyable. It's actually like what God calls us to in being a Christian is full of meaning and full of life. And also like this internship, it's not just like a decision that you can make offhand and just do it. Like you'll burn out within a few weeks. But if the Lord is truly calling you into it, like it's going to be a season of sacrifice. And like I think that's the perfect opportunity to like really mold and shape your faith into something that is what true like Christianity is. Like
Yeah.
it's a like offering your body as a living sacrifice. Like it's hard, but
Yeah.
it's worth every second. And I just wanted to add that.
Yeah.
Anyone who's thinking about it.
No, I love that. I mean, when Jesus uses the metaphor of picking up your cross as discipleship, he doesn't say you're the one on the cross, right? Like you pick up your cross, but then the way and the path of the cross is death, but it is also resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
And resurrection is the final say, whether here in a lot of different ways or in heaven. But I love that.
Yeah.
And I do think, for anyone who's considering the internship or ministry or even just God is calling them into like a next step and maybe a deeper level of discipleship and surrender and commitment. I guess we're praying for you in that, and you're not alone in that. And that is God. He loves you and meets you where you at, but he loves you too much to leave you where you're at. Mm-hmm. And so if he's calling you into that next thing, it's because it's going to be good. And because he sees what you can't see. All right, guys. Well, you guys are awesome. And for all you out there, the internship application, I believe, closes the first week of March. And if I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. But apply if you're interested. And even if you're like, well, I'm not fully sure, it's okay to apply and go through the process and take that baby step, like Joshua was saying. And two, if you need prayer or anything for your next step or what God's calling you into, if you need some clarity, you can DM us, or you can come to one of our campuses on the weekend or to YA. We have so many pastors and volunteers and people that want to follow Jesus with you. And so don't feel like you have to do all this on your own. And so we are a room in the house of Red Rocks Church. We are a young adult ministry that meets at our Lakewood location at 7:00 on Thursdays. And we'd love to meet you, get to know you. Maybe you already attend and you're like, oh, shut up, girl. And you already turned this podcast off because I do this spiel. But come and talk to us. If you're interested in the internship, we'd love to talk to you too. We can talk about that. And then come to one of our weekend services. We'd love to see you there as well. Our locations are Arvada, Park Meadows, Lakewood, and Littleton. And we meet on Saturday at 5, except for at Lakewood. And then Sunday at 8, 10, and 12. Love you guys, and happy whatever day you're listening to this. God bless. Bye.